It's been a year since the New York Times dared to publish what had long been an open secret in Hollywood. Allegations that super producer Harvey Weinstein was also a real-life super predator, preying on women whose careers depended on his goodwill. In the 12 months since, countless women and men have said "Me Too," coming forward with horrifying stories of their own. Bill Cosby and Dr. Larry Nassar have been sent to jail for sexual assault. Weinstein has finally been charged with rape. Roger Ailes and Bill O'Reilly were toppled from Fox News over allegations of sexual harassment. And yet, the Senate is voting on whether or not to advance Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court, despite allegations that he assaulted women in high school and college. The way some Senate Republicans responded to the accusations against Kavanaugh made it seem like they'd just woken up from comas and had yet to be briefed on the year of Me Too. It's an unnerving moment, and a reminder that the last year raised questions that we've barely started to answer. Here are 3 of them. 1. How should we decide if people accused of sexual misconduct are guilty or innocent? If the last year has shown us anything, it's that plenty of credible allegations never make it to court. In the absence of definitive legal verdicts, we have to make up our own minds. And even if we do what some activists suggest, declaring that we believe women to make up for decades of skepticism, our judgments aren't the end of the story. 2. What's the appropriate punishment for sexual assault or harassment? And given the range of offenses that have been part of this conversation, how do we make sure the penalty fits the harm? It's one thing if a perpetrator is going to serve time, but in the absence of criminal charges, how should we treat people credibly accused of misconduct? Do we ban them from comedy clubs? If so, for how long? Do we cancel their television shows, but let them leave their networks with huge severance packages? Do we deny them seats on the Supreme Court? 3. What does contrition look like? And who gets to decide if someone accused of sexual misconduct should be forgiven? Some of the men accused in this Me Too moment have owned up to their actions and even apologized to their victims. If the people who were actually harmed forgive them, should the rest of us do the same? And how do we decide if their apologies are sincere, or if any actions they take to repent are enough to make up for the damage they did? It's been a difficult but cathartic year, and though it might seem daunting, the painful stories we've heard aren't the end of this cultural shift. If we're lucky, and if change really is coming, they're only the end of the beginning.